In 2016, Fondazione Prada invited me to make a 2-hour site-specific work for their complex in Milan, Attraverso I muri di Bruma. Site-specific performance is a type of work that is a subset of non-theatre performance. The latter is simply taking work outside of a theatre or gallery context, whereas, as the title suggests, the former is work that has been made only for and informed by a specific place or location. Here, the visual design of the piece can take into account the shapes and visual qualities of the location, and these can influence the nature of the performance. One drawback of the site-specific work is that it can't, by definition, be exactly repeated elsewhere, unless an identical location can be found. The piece can be reinvented for another space, i.e. dismantled and reassembled to take account of the new site, but in a way that defeats the point of the exercise. Many site-specific performances simply use a more visually exciting location in a conventional way, with the audience seated or standing in an appropriate area for the piece. There is, however, sometimes the interesting possibility of freeing up the audience and allowing them to move around the spaces, possibly to different areas where alternate events are happening. Before commencing the creation of such a work, it is essential to examine carefully the locations and determine their possibilities. The Prado Milano complex is an amazing place of around 19,000 square meters and is a mixture of old buildings and new structures. Here are some aspects that caught my attention on my early visits. Entrance. This is the imposing entrance to the complex. Casa di Nebbia. This is one of the old buildings I thought would be interesting to project onto. Tree. The complex has many beautiful old trees that I wanted to include. Haunted house. This is a haunted house, one of the original buildings that has been covered in real gold leaf. This is a 200-seater cinema. Cisterna. One of the original structures where dancers could be placed on a balcony. Mirror wall. The mirrored wall of the cinema. As well as the spatial locations and visual aspects, a site-specific work needs to take into account other factors such as audience size, time of day, duration, technical support, etc. In this case, the brief was for 3 shows, each of 2 hours, from 8:30 p.m. with a projected audience of each evening of 500 to 600. With the Prada Fondazione, there would be unlimited technical support. As we mentioned, it is possible in site-specific work to have a static audience or a mobile audience. We decided to use both methods. A first section with the audience moving around a series of 7 installations would enable us to highlight some of the different interesting Prada spaces, and a final fixed session with all the audience and dancers could provide a climactic end to the evening. The audience was given the following map of the space and told for the first hour and a half they could go to any of the 7 installation locations where the pieces, from 3 to 10 minutes, would be looping. They could stay for several repeats or move on to any other piece as they wished. The 7 pieces were: 1. Noche de Cuatro Lunas. A dancer performs a duet with a tree, accompanied by a canción by Federico Garcia Lorca. 2. Retrospectiva. Virtual projections of a selection of video dance installation films, Tango de Soledad, Te Pala Sol, Art of Movement, and A Flat Sky. 3. Casa de Nebbia 1. Large 3D projection of dance made to look as if the dancer is inside the building. 4. Danza di Paura. 2 dancers perform on the balcony of the haunted house. 5. Be. 4 male dancers perform an interactive dance text piece exploring the subtler nuances of the Italian language. 6. Herz. Dancers will perform on the balcony near the entrance, accompanied by the song Herz. Number 7. Casa de Nebbia 2. The same dance as Performance 3, but performed live by a real dancer. At the end of the evening, the audience was instructed to gather at space 8. Here is a short promotional film made by Prada to give you an overview of the event. In the following 4 lectures, we will look at some of the sections in more detail. Ciao, my name is Billy Cowie. I'm a Scottish choreographer and also musician and a writer. And I've just been working for the last weeks on a new piece with dancers from the Civic Scola for Foundation Prada. And so the piece is actually almost a celebration of the foundation. And I thought in order to use the spaces the best, I would divide the first part of the piece up into 7 different sections. So each section is in a different space and using different heights and different materials as the backgrounds. What I wanted to do was to give make the audience have control over what they were seeing. So instead of having to sit there and watch whatever I wanted them to do, they can choose which pieces to see. They can go from one to another. They can go back. They can leave a piece if they don't like it. They can watch it over many times if they are interested in
it. Respiro. 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 Respiro.
One piece, the 2 dancers are on top of the golden building, which is called the Haunted House. And they're very far away, and so I thought they looked so small that I'll give them flags. And it's like a communication with the audience who's so far down below. And the piece is actually called Dance of Fear.
Respiro. Respiro. Respiro.
Another piece, the dancers are on another balcony and they have long, long ribbons coming down from their arms. So it almost looks like wings, so they're like 3 or 4 meter long. Another one of the 7 stations is a dance with the 4 guys from the 11 dancers. And this is a piece called "Be," where they're each using only one word. One dancer has the word "be," one has the word "bo," one has the word "jia," and one has the word "ba." And by only using these 4 words, they try and communicate with each other and with the audience. It's quite a funny piece. I thought it's also interesting, as well as seeing the enormous 3D dancer, to see the same dancer in real life. So I put her into a box of a similar sort of structure to the houses, with the projections onto the box. So you go down into a basement and you see exactly the same choreography and the same music that you've seen outside, really large. piece, the dancer is dancing a duet with one of the beautiful trees in the space. So, as well as doing all this, I wanted to show some of my past 3D work. So in the cinema here, which is just behind me, there is also a 40-minute retrospective of my 3D installation films, which is running. But as well as having all the dancers like in separate places, I also wanted to show them all together, because the 11 dancers from the Scuola are fantastic, and when you see them all together it's amazing. So for the second half of the piece I brought them all here, where we have this amazing wall of mirrors. So you don't really see 11 dancers, you see 22 dancers.